Welcome to the 4 Mile Circus. 4 Mile Circus is a podcast by 4 Mile Circus where we talk to artists and independent individuals. Like really great, independently minded, fun people. Yeah, I'm just going to keep going with this, Nicole. Stop shaking your head at me. And we talk to them about how they promote and fund their work and like get shit out there into the world. And my name is Sean Mannion, and I have a business partner who's just staring at me, and he's also the co-host of the podcast. Do you want to?
Hi, my name is Nicole Solomon.
Okay, great. And today we're talking with a different sort of artist. We have a different kind of person. We usually have bands and like narrative filmmaker types.
We have a lot of narrative filmmaker types on this program.
We have a lot. It's like they're the only people we know.
Now we're both going to pick cat hair off
the thing.
Microphones, apparently. There's a lot of that around, too. We have a lot of those on the show. Cat hairs.
Cat hairs. Got lots of cat hairs. So today we're talking to Annie Malamet. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
About what she does. And why don't you tell us a little, what do you do?
What do I do? I guess I would consider myself an interdisciplinary media artist. You know, it's just kind of like a bunch of buzzwords together, but it really is what I do. And I also, I guess I'm kind of a DIY curator. I don't have any institutional curatorial support, so I kind of just do things the way I want to.
Which is the independent-minded thing I was talking about. See, I seem like I'm crazy. I seem like I'm crazy, and it's true.
But yeah, we're a very DIY-minded company, I believe. So
yeah, I'm reading my notes for the episode off of a duct tape together MacBook from 2006, and yeah,
it's that recent.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was like 16.
Oh my God, you're a baby.
You're so young.
Oh my God, you're a baby. In 2006. It was 1 year away from me moving to my current apartment, where I've been forever, and is my adult. Okay, we don't need to go on a trip down memory lane.
Let's just not.
I understand now that
we're old.
Yeah,
we're old.
You guys are not that much older than me.
I'm older than him, and he's apparently older than you. So
I mean, I was 16 in
1994. So
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was 16 in 99. That's when I was 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So we're all old now. But okay, so interdisciplinary media artist. So what does that mean? Do you like paint things on disciplinaries?
I am usually lens-based. I use this in my syllabus a lot when I teach lens-based art, you know, like anything that you use a camera for, like video or photography. And then there's usually some kind of other element to it. Like, I like to combine like physical materials and ephemeral materials. So, yeah, like I've created a lot of different kinds of projects, usually involving text and moving image or still image. Okay. So whether that text is like actual physical text, like written down on paper, or, you know, digital text, you know, like I've created a website installation. I've created like actual like physical text pieces that I then scanned into interactive screens. So a lot of it is, I guess I would say combining text and image. Either original or found image. I'm really into found image, as opposed to my own original work, like images.
What is there a way to put into words why you have that preference?
I think, you know, I was thinking about it on the way over here, and I think that the way I feel is like everything that's good has already been done. And I'm really into kind of just remixing it. And, you know, when you watch something, when you watch a film or you look at a photograph or any piece of media, you see it through your own experience and your own lens. So I like to show people the way that I've seen things, the way that I've watched things. Like when I remixed or reappropriated Tattoo's music video for All the Things She Said, I was kind of showing people the way that I saw the video, the way that it felt for me to watch it when it came out.
Can you tell us more about that? Because that video made a big impression on me when it came out as well.
Yeah,
so I'd be curious to hear.
Yeah. Well, when it came out, I think it was 2003, so I was 13. So I was really just coming to terms or coming into my sexuality. Like I knew at that point, I knew when I was 12 that I liked girls. I didn't know what to do with that information yet because I hadn't had any experiences with anybody. So by the time I was 13, I already kind of knew that. I guess it was a secret. I don't know. I think I told like a few friends. But when the video came out, it was kind of like very erotic for me. But also, I mean, I'm sure it was for many people when it came out. That's why it was such a big deal. But I was kind of fascinating and also like something I felt like I had to hide or watch in secret, which I'm sure a lot of queer people feel like when they see themselves reflected in media. So it was something that I would watch in secret when nobody was around, or I would change the channel, you know, if somebody would come downstairs. And I wanted to, and it also made me feel in a way very lonely because I felt very like isolated from anybody else who was having the same experience as me. And even as a 13-year-old, I had the knowledge when I was watching this video that this is like a performance. These are not real lesbians. Like, I still didn't see myself reflected in them, even though I was kind of obsessed with the video. Like, I had that sort of, I couldn't put it into words, but I knew, okay, this is like fake and kind of pornographic and like for men. And I didn't have the language for that, but I knew it. And that made me feel even more isolated because I was starting to develop all of these feelings and questions about existing as a gay woman in this very like male-centric world. So when I remixed the video, I kind of isolated it to make it this more romantic story. In the way that I edited it, there was because in the video there's people watching them. And when I edited out all those shots of people watching them. So it was just them. And I made it black and white. And I took these, because it was part of a whole project where I took the Women for Women misconnection section of Craigslist and I hand wrote out the ads and then scanned them back into digital screens that people could interact with. So this video was part of that exhibit. So the video became kind of like a silent film where I had written out quotes that I liked from the ads and interspersed them into the video. So it was almost like the women were having a dialogue with each other with these quotes in the way that I edited it.
Is that available online to watch?
Yeah. I can send you, because right now it's like it's like a password protected thing because when I had the exhibition, I wanted people to go. Oh, I didn't want them to watch it online. Sure. But I can send it to you. I can send you the whole thing.
I would love to say. Yeah. I was going to say if it's public online, we'll link it in the show notes. But
I can make it public now because the exhibition is over.
Well, yeah. If you would like to, we'll link it in the show notes. But regardless, I would very much like to see that because everything you were saying resonates quite a bit. Like I'm, more than 10 years older than you, but a lot of what you were saying is what I at the time was like, I wish this had come out when I was younger.
Right.
And it would have been better to have even this with all of its problematics than the complete absence that when I was 13 of any representations of queerness that were not subtextual. Right. Because or like the butt of a joke.
Right. Yeah. And it was almost like there's so much that's problematic with that song and that video and like the
Sure.
whole performance afterwards of them and their sexuality, like there's so much about it that's like gross.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, you know, when you're grasping at straws and you're just kind of searching for anything that looks like you or things that you desire, it becomes like you hold on to it, you know, like in that movie But I'm a Cheerleader, when like they talk about the root. Like it's that's like one of my roots, like something, you know. And it's funny because my girlfriend doesn't feel that way about the video at all, you know. When it came out, she was like, this is absolute crap, like this is like, she was insulted by it when it came out, and she thought it was really lame. And for me, I was like, wow, like this is so like cute and like, you know, and I knew that there were problems with it, but I still, you know, was kind of obsessed with it. And it was so hot to me.
Also, I liked the song.
I liked the song,
I liked
too.
the song, and I liked their Smiths cover that people thought was like
Yes, it was
sacrilege. They
so
were like,
good.
"How dare these Pop-Tarts?"
I
Like-
listened to that album.
Oh, me too.
It's a good
I own it.
album.
I have it at home.
Yeah, it's actually quite good. They're underrated.
I agree. I have a soft spot for certain kinds of cheesy pop,
Yeah.
like intense music about
Yeah.
adolescence. It brings me back to my youth. And
Yeah, totally. And they had like careers kind of afterwards, each of them. And if you think about it at the time, I mean, in 2004, like they went on, what is it, the Jimmy Kimmel Show? Has he been on that long? But
Probably.
they went on the Jimmy Kimmel Show with shirts that said "fuck war" and were like making
Right.
out.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yes.
kind of amazing.
And people weren't doing that shit so much in 2004.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
people remember, like, oh, everybody was against the war. No, they weren't. Not at the time.
Yeah,
Like, it was-
exactly. Like it was kind of amazing. And like as a 14-year-old then in 2004, you know, who was just starting to become kind of politically aware, I guess, I was like, wow, this is so great. And I felt like a weirdo where I was. I'm sure a lot of queer people and non-queer people feel that way in high school. Like I felt like a total weirdo. And that I was like, there are other weirdos out there. Like I know there are. And I don't know. I feel like being gay now is definitely still sucks, but like being gay in 2004 really fucking sucked. Like I don't know. I feel like people don't remember like it, unless you are like a member of the queer community.
Sure.
Like it blew. Like people were way worse than they are now, and people are still pretty bad.
Oh,
So-
it's ridiculous. In
Yeah.
2004 versus like 1994.
right. I
It's
know.
a whole new world,
What
and
a
that's-
huge difference 10 years makes.
And as horrible as things may be at this point in time, in many respects, like I do have this memory of being a queer person who went through these past decades and how much stuff has changed.
Right.
And like there are worlds possible now that when I was like 13, just
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And at that time, you know, I was like, I knew I wasn't wrong. Like, I knew in my heart, like, I knew I was fine. Like, on an intellectual level, that, like, I was okay. And it was okay that I was like this. But everything around me was telling me that it wasn't. So even when people were accepting, you know, like we had a GSA, we had like a gay straight alliance that was like a bunch of like gay boys and like straight women. So like I would go to that to find any kind of like community or solace, and like I just wasn't finding it. You know, I found people who were accepting of me, but I wasn't finding, I was like, I want to like make out. Like I want like a girlfriend. Like I don't want to just hang out with a bunch of gay dudes and like their straight female friends who are like sweet.
but they're not,
like yeah. So I was like, where are the dykes? Like what the hell? You know, and I knew that tattoo like wasn't actual dykes. And I remember also like older lesbians at the time writing all these articles about how horrible this video was. So it's so funny how like different things pieces of media mean different things to different people. So that's why when I remix it, like I'm trying to show people how it felt to watch it for me.
I think that's so fascinating, and I know Sean has questions,
Yeah,
and
this is fine.
I don't want to take things further afield, but
None of my questions are as interesting as this, so.
great. I didn't know we were going to be talking about tattoo today, so
Yeah.
I'm very happy.
Right. Yeah. I'm glad there's another tattoo fan.
I've been thinking a lot recently about a thing that will happen sometimes when feminist critiques of the male gaze end up privileging male points of view, whereas
For sure, yeah.
like in my work, I'm kind of less, as I said to somebody the other day, like you could spend your whole life worrying about what some guy's going to jerk off to. Because
That's so good.
whatever you do,
Yeah.
some guy's going to jerk off to it.
It doesn't matter. Like, you can, like, take a shit, like...
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
if you do
that's
don't
like the
get me
most
started.
obvious thing to jerk off to. Like,
That's not just going to be one guy. That's going to be like
gonna be a lot of guys.
of guys
you
jerking off to
You could
that.
do literally anything.
Yeah, but, like,
it doesn't matter.
Somebody's jerking off to Schindler's List right now. I hate to say it, but somebody's doing
it's
it.
true, though. Yeah.
And so sometimes, which is not a defense of tattoo, there are very good critiques to be made of tattoo in that video, but at the same time, I'm kind of less interested in like, oh, but some guy's going to view that in an objectifying way and sexualize it as other people's relationships to media. Like, I'm more concerned about making media for other women, for example, than making media that subverts the male gaze. Not that I'm not interested in subverting the male gaze, but that's not like my sole goal in creating media.
That's a really good point. I think like at a base level, I will always be interested in subverting the male gaze, just like by my existence.
Sure.
But it's not actually my primary interest, like in making work. I don't actually think about men that much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to me, that's kind of and I'm not saying that needs to be the goal for everybody, but for me, that's more of the goal is privileging other audiences.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Not still being focused all the time on men and, well, what are men going to think?
Yeah, exactly. And that's like, with that video, that's why I cut out any existence of like a gaze in that video, because I was like, well, who cares? Like, the girls are in love in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, in my head, they were in love, and like they were, you know, schoolgirls in love. And I know that that's like a pornographic trope, but at the same time, it's something that actually happens.
Yeah.
So,
and not for men.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. I just think, yeah, you're right. Like, sometimes we get so hung up on like critiquing how everything is for the male gaze, which everything is for the male gaze. But at the same time, like, let's just move past it in some ways. Like, fuck it. Like, some guys, you're right. Some guys always going to jerk off to something. Like, you could literally do anything.
It was after I saw Atomic Blonde, and I was talking about that, which is a film that we can critique in some ways for having like Charlize Theron as, you know, the super assassin hot chick and that trope and all of that. That's all true. But at the same time, like, it was because they made her love interest another woman.
Right.
And people like, oh, for the fanboys. And I'm like, I would rather have her love interest be another woman. Did you see the film?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Did you see it, Sean?
No, I haven't gotten around
to
it.
Well, like, I enjoy it. I give it a thumbs up. Not a huge thumbs up, but like, it was worth watching for me. Very, very good fight scenes. But I'm like, I don't care if some guy's jerking off to watching these two women together. Like, it was a very, to me, as much as in a spy movie such things tend to be, like, fleshed out real relationship. Why not have it be with a woman instead of a man? Like, why not have her be, you know, a queer character? I'd rather see that. Like, I don't care if some guy's jerking off to it.
Yeah, especially if like a woman is making money off of it. Yeah. I think one of the issues with the tattoo music video is like it was some creep manager who was like, yeah, now let's put him in these schoolgirl outfits and they're gonna kiss, and like he made all this money off of them. At the same time, so did they. So it's almost like, you know, like life is already. I'm so bitter. Like, life is already shit. Like, let them like make their money and like make out with each other. Like, who cares, honestly?
Yeah. I hear you.
Like, I definitely, and you know, at the same time, I mean, both things exist in my mind though. Like, you know, I can still be like, oh, that guy is such a fucking creep. Like, I hate him and I hate like what he did to that video. And at the same time, like, you know, hold on to it as like this shining beacon that it was for me when I was like 13.
I mean, I appreciate the music of the Runaways, and that was like a way more fucked up situation than Tattoo even.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like Kim Fowley is a, you know, despicable scum of a human being, and a lot of messed up stuff was happening in that band, but at the same time, like, there were these girls like playing real rock music, and they took it very seriously, even if,
for
like,
sure, yeah.
Some of the people around them were definitely exploiting them to a degree, but that's also the music industry. It's an exploitive, fucked up industry.
The other thing is, like, we talk about people being exploited, and this is for, like, any marginalized person. I go back to women and queer women especially being exploited, but I'm somebody who, I love the Real Housewives, right? And I love, like, any show like that. And I know that people, and I'm very aware of the critiques of those shows, and I've read many books and articles about these things. At the same time, though, it's almost insulting to me that we don't assume that the women, like, are in on it.
Yeah.
Like, does everybody really think that the Real Housewives of Atlanta are, like, actually fighting with each other? Like, they're completely aware of what's going on. So why can't Tattoo be aware of what's going on? Yeah. Just because they were young girls, they're not idiots. Like, they are probably, they're smart enough. These women are capable and smart enough to know, like, this is, like, the hand that I've been dealt, and this is what people want me to do to make money, and I know it, and I'm gonna do it because, like, fuck it. Like,
yeah, which, to be realistic, is everybody's situation under capitalism. A lot of people, nobody's earning money in a perfect way that's, like, they feel great about, and nobody's exploiting them in any way, shape, or form. That's kind of what the system is. And it's weird that in these certain instances we decide that people do not have agency.
Right.
Because
it's insulting, honestly. Like, really, guys? These are, like, business women.
Yeah.
Like, they have made a lot of money on their brand, and they also have businesses outside of this, and it's a great tool to promote their businesses, which is what they do on the show. They promote their companies, like their clothing brands, like, they become the brand on the show, and it's a great vehicle marketing tool for them. So why do people just assume that they're just, like, along for this crazy ride and they have no idea what's going on?
Misogyny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they didn't get to be, like, quote unquote famous for nothing, like, by doing nothing.
Oh, yeah. This is the argument I have with my grandma about, my grandmother comes up a lot on the show. She's about to turn 99. She has a lot of opinions.
That's great.
Yes, and her opinions are generally very spot on, but we have this fight about Kim Kardashian all the time where she's just like, she's an idiot. And I'm like,
she's
really,
not, though. Yeah, that's the thing, is, like, whatever I might feel about her and the things she does and says, she's not an idiot.
I'm like, Grandma, you're the one who watches her show. Like, I don't watch her show. Yeah. I don't like it. But, like, I recognize that, like, she built something here. She didn't just, like, stumble and trip and fall into it.
Right.
Like, she, made lemonade out of lemons with the, like, Ray J tape and whatnot. And, like, good on her. So
right, exactly.
People want to watch her family, apparently, so okay,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we're all watching, so, like, even if I'm not, as an individual, not watching.
As a culture,
we're watching. So people just love to... Have you ever read the book Reality Bites Back by Jennifer Posner?
No, but I'm a fan of Jennifer Posner.
It's a great book. She really, like, dissects all of these things related to reality TV. She has great chapter names. Like, one is Race on Reality TV, Pre and Post Flavor of Love. And she's comes at it from a very, like, second wavy feminist kind of view, where she's talking about people being exploited, and, like, I appreciate that and understand it, like, and she's really more interested not in the individuals, but, like, what it says about us as a culture that we like to watch these things, which is valid. And where was I going with this? It's a really good book. You should read it.
I'll check it out. We'll link it in the show notes.
Yeah.
It sounds like an interesting companion piece to, I'm blanking on the name of the author, but this book, Freaks Talk Back.
I haven't heard of that.
It's older, but it's about talk shows, but, like, 90s talk shows more. Like Jerry Springer, that era. But the idea being, like, on the one hand, like, it's exploiting marginalized people, but on the other hand, this was kind of the first era in which a lot of different marginalized people of a lot of different backgrounds were able to have a platform on TV and represent themselves.
Right, yeah.
However problematic the context may have been. And that it just seems like kind of another side, because that was more about the people on you know, what now we would call reality shows, but back then we didn't have reality TV and it was talk shows. But you get like, it was a similar dynamic and a similar kind of fascination.
Yeah. And well, she talks, this is what I was going to say. She talks a lot in this book about how reality TV producers or people who make this stuff, they rely on you thinking that you're better than the content. And that's the point of it. Like, you're actually not being subversive by making fun of the show, because that's what they want. They're relying on you feeling like you're better than these people because they know how people think. So that's the point of the show. Like, they make it ridiculous as possible so that you can laugh at them. And once you actually start to see it that way, you realize, like, okay, everything is a trick. Like, I thought I was watching this and I was making fun of it and, like, I was better than the people who watch this in earnestness. But actually, no, like, they rely on this kind of, like, Gen X or millennial, like, irony thing. Like, they know that there's a market for that, and they know that people watch these shows to laugh.
That's why Paris Hilton said that, like, Walmart is that where you buy walls thing in the early aughts. Like, that famous quote where everyone's like, she's such an idiot. She doesn't even know what Walmart is. It's like, of course she knows what Walmart is. If for no other reason than that family probably, like, pals around with her family.
Right,
when
exactly. Do people really think she doesn't know what that is?
Yeah. Like, she knows. She probably doesn't shop there, but she knows. She knows you don't buy a wall there. Yeah. But everybody's like, oh, she's so dumb. This is hilarious.
I know. Yeah.
False superiority thing.
Yep,
and,
exactly. And they know that we feel superior to people. And it's so crazy because it's like the people who make this stuff, they know that we're sexist and racist and classist and ableist and all of these things. And they know how to tap into that and, you know, make it work for them. So, in a way that almost tricks us, because we think like, oh, these people are being exploited. Like, I'm going to make fun of because this is so ridiculous. But, like, really, the joke's on us.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The thing that turned me off of doing or watching any more of those shows was I did transcribing for one.
Oh Lord, I've done so much transcription work.
and so like just sitting there and actually like listening to the producer prod somebody on this god awful wedding show to say to the person who's kind of like, oh well, I didn't really feel like that, and he's like, yeah, but you know, you just say it just for the show. I mean, you kind of feel that way. I mean, yeah, kind of, but I don't really feel like I need to say that. And they're like, but you know, just for the show, we might not use it. Who knows? But you know, we just need you to say it. Oh, okay. And then they would like do this whole like selling how angry they were about something they were kind of mildly bothered by.
They're actors, actually, at their core. Like, these are people who want to be on TV. I don't want to be on TV. Like, I'm not an actor, so...
Well, unfortunately for you, you're on TV now. No.
Surprise! Oh, God, I just remembered... it's too long of a story to go into, but once upon a time, there was a possibility that my partner's then workplace was going to have a reality show, and I was like, nope! Nope, like, not interested. Like, that sounds like hell to me.
Right.
Like, no offense if you're, but no, I would never, no.
Right.
No. I'll be in your movies. I'll play a witch in one of your movies.
I think by talking about like systematic injustices, we sometimes forget that people as individuals have agency.
Yeah.
And like there are definitely these systems in place that influence our decisions and influence how we operate in the world. At the end of the day, we do have agency, and it's insulting to assume that I don't. Like that I'm not purposely complicit in my own.
You gotta understand, man. Like they're manipulating you, man. You gotta understand that they're manipulating you, Nicole.
They are?
They're manipulating you.
No, people wouldn't do that. That's mean.
They're totally doing that.
They're
totally doing that, and
right
you can't
now? See
it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Is that why we started a business?
Because they manipulated you into doing it. Man.
The man.
Yeah, it's
That's
the man.
Yeah,
it's the man, man.
The man did it?
Yeah.
The man did it. It's all the man's fault. Damn the man. Damn the man.
Damn the man.
So I just this your work is usually like shows. It's not necessarily like a lot of people we talk to, they like post stuff online, and yours is online, but it's largely like something that people like experience like in person.
Yes, unless it's a specifically online project.
Okay. Okay. Cool. And so the curating is a lot like that too. You work with other artists to curate shows.
Yeah, I basically pick the artists that I want to be in the show, and I contact the space. So the space reaches out to me, and we just do the damn thing. Like, I just pick the work that I want, and I have them send it, or I pick it up, or they drop it off, and we just make it happen.
And so I mean, I don't do like live stuff as much. So how do you get the word out about that? Is it mostly like social media? Is it like email networks? Is it like flyering or something like that?
Yeah, so I don't do like open calls for art shows because I hate rejecting people. But what I do is I spend like disgusting amounts of time on Instagram, mostly looking at artists and like looking at their work. So I'll be like a lurker, and like follow people. And then when I have a show, I'll email them. Usually people have like their email in their bio, or I'll direct message them and I'll say like, hey, this is the show I'm doing. Would you be interested in having work in it? And that's pretty much how I find people, is through social media, or I read a lot too. I'm constantly reading articles and following those people on Instagram, and keeping them kind of in my like saved Instagram collections of potential artists.
Oh, so you're actually using that new feature, the save collection? I keep meaning to have like something. I need to use that because I haven't figured out something. That's a good plan for it.
This is the first conversation we've had on this show about that feature on Instagram.
Yeah, it's fairly recent.
It is, yeah.
It's a good feature.
They've actually, and then they've expanded it a little bit too,
Like,
because you can have like
put
collections.
it into collections. Yeah, so I have a collection that's like open calls where I'll submit my own work. Like, people will send out open calls for shows and stuff, and I'll save that in like that little collection. And then I'll have collections for things, shows I'm going to propose, like artists I might want to be in it, that sort of thing. Because now I'm more looking for more institutional support and applying to curatorial fellowships. So usually for those fellowships, you need to have a project in mind. So I'll save people that I maybe want to include in my proposal.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. And you just did one 2 months ago, just a couple months
in
ago.
July. Yeah,
in July, and that was called.
It's called Fatter IRL. It was the second version of it. So the first version was in Brooklyn, and the space reached out to me. It's an ongoing art show called, like, sounds really weird out loud, but it's called Re:, like RE and then like a colon, like how you would reply on an email.
Yeah.
And it's ongoing, and the two guys that run it, they'll bring in people to either curate in the space, or they'll curate a show on their own and bring in artists. So they asked me if I wanted to curate something for the next like round, and the show is usually up for a month. And I had this idea that I wanted to have a show of all fat identified artists, people who identify as fat. And because I noticed that in New York, and the New York art scene, and in most art scenes, there's this it's definitely trendy to have like queer or feminist art shows. But I would look at all of the artists and I would notice that they were all like quote unquote hot women. Like, not that the artists in my show aren't hot in their own, like, in their way, but like mainstream, like for the male gaze, like
Sure.
I felt like it was still like a bunch of supermodels, like, who happen to be artists. Not that they're not good or talented artists, but I was like, I see a pattern here. And I feel like even though it's like a feminist show, we're like replicating this thing. And I was just, like I never saw even one fat person in these shows. And it was like, okay, this isn't even a fashion show. This is an art show. where like the artist, it doesn't really matter who they are or what they look like. Like it's just their work. And I still noticed that it was like barely any people of color and barely any like non-normative looking people. So I was like, I just want the show with like fat people. Like I'm tired of all these like shows where there's absolutely no fat people. I know so many fat people who make art. And I just picked people. Like a lot of the people were my friends or people I only knew on social media, and it blew up and it got a lot of press and it was really popular and people wanted something like this. Like they were craving it, and it was the most like diverse art opening I've ever been to. My own art opening, like it was all kinds of people, like all sizes, all races, like all I usually go to an art show and it's like a bunch of like skinny white people and I feel like really weird and awkward and I'm like in the corner eating all the free food like and like trying to socialize as best I can with all these like super elitist people. And the opening for Fatter IRL was like not like that at all, and it was just people were very like moved by the work, and you know I'm very proud that I brought all of that together, but at the end of the day, you know, it was the artists and their work that was moving. So I had another version in LA at a space called Junior High, which is a nonprofit space in LA that's like very DIY, has gotten really good press, and they're really like easy to work with and nice. It's actually run by one woman, really, who does everything herself. She would be amazing to have on your show if she wasn't in LA.
Oh, yes, through LA.
Yeah, we have Skype. We have the Skype now.
Right, she would be into it too. She's like very like accessible, easy person to talk to, and she runs everything completely by herself. So when we met up, it was like a really great experience. Her name is Faye Orlove, and we like vibed really well. Because she is a very similar mindset to me.
Nice.
Yeah. And the LA version was also awesome. I mean, the opening was great. I think LA is actually kind of behind New York in terms of like body issues, like or like the fat acceptance movement. It's not as big there as it is here. So that was interesting.
That's what I hear about LA, like one of
Yeah.
the LA New York differences.
Yeah. It's very like body fascist.
Yeah,
place.
that it's like even more intense, because it's intense enough here, but that it's like LA is like, oh no, New York's where everything's chill and you can be however and it's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what they tell me, at least.
This is also what I've heard. You know what else I heard? That we should play a game. Do you want to play a game?
Ooh.
Let's play a game.
So I asked you both to answer a couple questions on these pieces of paper.
That you did.
So that we can play the newly met game. Because you two have only just met.
This is true.
And so I have a series of questions, and you just have to guess what the other person answered. And some of these are, you know, easy to guess, and some of them might be difficult to guess. And, you know, the point, as with all the games that I designed for the show, is that it's a little bit unfair.
Is there a prize?
Yeah, I got stuff. You want some stuff? You want some postcards? I got some postcards from Chris Cafaro, former guest on the show. I've got some stickers. You want some stickers?
Yeah, let's give a...
I want that DVD of Enchanted.
You're going to have to fight my wife for that. You're going to have to fight my wife for that one. That's hers. All right, let's start with... Great, let's start with Annie. All right, so you just have to guess Nicole's answer to the following question. What is Nicole's ideal vacation?
Ideal vacation? I'm going to say like...
This is such an unfair game.
It is so unfair because it could be so many things. I don't know. I'm just going to go like really like ham with it, and I'm going to say like San Francisco, like in the Castro with like a bunch of hot leather dykes.
That sounds great. I'll take that vacation.
And
We
Nicole's
can do that instead of what I put. That's
See?
fine.
And Nicole's answer was, I want to go to Norway for a few weeks. and go far north
with a bunch
to
of
see.
hot leather dykes.
Yeah, that's in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's implied that the go far north to see the aurora borealis. That's implied. It's
Yeah,
implied.
it's implied.
Leather dykes, aurora borealis.
So I think you get the point.
Yeah.
It's coding. It's coding. All right. So Nicole, what was Annie's favorite toy as a child?
It's not multiple choice.
No.
You used to usually give us multiple choice.
No. But this is
options.
this is the newly met game, so it's not multiple choice. The trivia games are multiple
And you're
choice.
very young, so. God damn it.
Toys haven't changed that much. Now they're crazy, but
I don't know. Bop It. That game.
Bop It.
Bop It.
Oh,
People
interesting.
your age seem to like Bop It.
I didn't like Bop It. But my answer, I said my unfeminist answer was Barbie.
Oh.
I don't know. My Barbies were just like always making out with each other.
Yeah, Barbie.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a thing, and there's you can do a lot of things with Barbies.
Yeah.
That sounded not actually how I meant
Well,
it.
so Annie, what color is Nicole's toothbrush?
Green.
It is white and green. That's a good enough answer for me.
I almost just said green, and then I'm like, well, it's mostly white.
You know,
Mine is
yeah,
also
we're on
mine
it
is
as
also white and green.
Oh my god, did your dentist give you yours also?
No.
Oh.
I don't know. I have this idea that I always have to have a green toothbrush.
Huh.
I don't know why.
I haven't had a green toothbrush.
Green is my
in a
lucky
long time.
color, but I will never fucking wear green. Like,
Wow.
Well, you're always around green screens. You just go,
Oh yeah, that's
No,
true. You'd be asking for trouble.
But it brings me such luck, like the color, but I would never wear it.
nice.
Well, we are learning about each other, aren't we?
Yeah.
See, that's the
works.
point of the newly met game.
Thank you, Sean. That was very thoughtful.
So, Nicole, this is a good answer. Nicole,
Yes.
what is Annie's favorite movie?
Well,
There's three here, so you could get any one of the three.
you like horror stuff, I heard.
Oh yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Well, that's a good one. It wasn't on there, but I really do love that movie.
So it's,
Wait. Can I guess more things?
you can guess two more because there's three answers on here.
Okay, well, you were interested in that Enchanted DVD, so maybe you like Ever After, starring Drew Barrymore.
Oh my god, I absolutely love Ever After. It wasn't on the paper, but
not on the piece of
I
paper.
love it though.
I think okay.
I mean, you're close with everything, I'm sure.
And then I'll pick something. Citizen Kane. I don't really mean that one. That's no way.
Just try a different one.
Casablanca.
Really? Okay. So the answers are
I was aiming for like breath, like.
the answers are Miss 45,
Oh yeah.
I Spit on Your Grave,
Oh yeah.
or
Which
Fat
one?
Girl.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, which one? The original or the
The
remake?
original.
I
yeah.
have not seen the remake.
The remake
I didn't see
is
the remake.
not. I don't know. My mom liked the remake. I didn't like the remake. My mom and I are both obsessed with that movie for some reason.
Huh.
Yeah.
My mom would never watch that movie.
I
yeah,
have the
never,
VHS from like when I was in high school, and I used to watch it on VHS, and my mom like will watch it.
I remember that
VHS.
VHS.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
that was one of those VHSs I would look at in the video store that like I didn't rent, but I would.
Yeah, it was like scary.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm just, what is it?
Yeah,
what
right,
happens?
yeah.
What could it
I don't
be?
think they had that one at my video store.
They had it at
I
a
feel
few
like I would have
different
watched
ones.
it if they had it at my video store.
My parents wouldn't have rented it for me. At the
I
age.
bought it on Amazon. My parents are not like aware of like internet stuff really. So when I was in high school and middle school, I would just like I always had a job, so I always had like a credit card, or not a credit card, a debit card, and I would always just buy crap on Amazon and eBay, like bidding on an I Spit on Your Grave VHS. My parents just have no idea.
I would have. I had like bad stuff sent to my home when I was young.
Oh yeah.
Like, but I didn't have internet when I was that age, so it was like mail order like I'd send away for catalog.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
would come. And then sometimes I'd get in trouble because I ordered an Adam and Eve catalog with a friend of mine, and it came in the mail, and my parents are like, "Oh, Nicole, you're getting some pornography, huh? In the mail."
And you're like, yeah, I am. Maybe I wouldn't if you loved me.
What was the third movie I put?
Miss 45, I Spit on Your Grave, and Fat Girl.
Fat Girl, yeah.
Which I haven't seen
Yeah, yeah.
horribly.
It's a good movie.
It's a good one.
It's
Yeah.
not streaming right now anywhere. I don't think.
I thought it was on Hulu.
Criterion, right?
It
was
used
on-
to be.
Oh, it used to be on Hulu.
When
Yeah.
They had the
when they had
cri-
Criterion.
But
Yeah.
now you can watch Criterion stuff with your library card. So maybe I can.
On that one, I don't want. Yeah, you should do that. It's a good movie.
Yeah. All three
I
movies
wanna-
that have a
I've
lot of
heard.
rape in them.
This
Yeah.
is true.
Yeah.
That's on that note. This has been the 4 Mile Circus. We're 4 Mile Circus. That's the number 4, the word mile, the word circus. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can friend us and like us on all those things and say hey and whatever. And Nicole really wants to be your Facebook friend. And Annie, where can people find you?
You can find me. I don't have Facebook, but you
Good
can.
for you.
Facebook's the devil.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Like, let's all leave it. Exodus. My Instagram is fatgoth. It's FATGAWTH. And you can also find me at my website, which is AnnieRoseMalamet.com.
Cool.
Fantastic.
And we'll be back next time to talk with Annie more about questionable life choices, like talking to us. And we'll see you all soon.
Bye.
If you like what you heard, please subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, or your platform of choice. Please visit us at 4milecircus.com to learn about our other projects and services, and be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at 4 Mile Circus.